Mountain, Island, Lightning Bolt, Spell Pierce, Switchblade, Stab Wound, Red Mage, Blue Mage.
Are you ready?
Amber, take it away. It's your show.
It's my show now. It's Red Mage, Red Mage. Blue Mage isn't even here. I'm going to be talking to nobody. JK, Kenny's here. Hey, Kenny.
Hey, hi, yeah, let's go.
So,
It's Red Mage.
It's Red Mage, Blue Mage. Kenny's here. He's going to talk. In fact, I mean, even though I'm pretty sure I could theoretically do a whole episode of just me talking 40 minutes straight about stuff, it's good to have someone else to bounce ideas off of.
Theoretically,
quote unquote. So anyway, let's get into this episode.
Let us.
I'm doing it today because I'm giving Kenny a break for coming up with topics, because that's Kenny basically does all of the work, and today, surprisingly, I did work.
I did no work today.
Amazing. You showed up. That's part and parcel. That's part of work. Showing up is part of work. So you're gonna have to work through this episode. So this is it's okay. I'm having a hard time working through this episode right now. Oh boy.
We are 1 minute 50 seconds. Okay, we're good.
Yeah. Okay. Just gotta do this for at least 28 more seconds. Minutes. Whoops. Okay. So this is my show, my time to shine. I prepared. I actually have a Word document that is 3 pages. A lot of it's copy and pasted, so it doesn't really, it's not like I wrote it, but it's there. I copied it and pasted it into a Word document. So
I'm impressed already.
Yes. So we are going actually to Flavortown.
Oh yeah. Welcome to Flavortown, home of the creamiest flavors this side of Berlin. I can't run. It is a Lurgoy.
Legitimately Flavortown, because I am interested in the Magic the Gathering's lore or whatever centered around food. I talk about food so much during the show. If you're this is episode 245, so by now you know that I am either full of hot dogs, tacos, burgers, pizza, whatever. I am a junk food goblin for sure. And so, of course, when Eldraine came out, I was super excited for food tokens. Anyway, that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about food and Magic the Gathering. Are you excited?
I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm good.
I haven't structured this in any way, so this is gonna be a just a deep dive, Amber's brain potato.
Amber's Guy Fieri of the Magic world. And
also, I'm at a standing desk now, so Kenny gets to see me pacing back and forth as I talk about food. Anyway.
Yeah, you're getting worked up. I like it.
I am super worked up because food is great. I enjoy food of all type, but what really brought me here, what started me down this path of let's look at food and Magic the Gathering, is over Christmas break, or a little bit before Christmas break, I started to buy all the original, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The original 10 Magic the Gathering novels that were published by Harper Prism. Okay. And the first book in the series is called Arena by William R. Forstchen. Okay. And I'm going to read all these books. I'm going to read all 10 of these novels because
on today's podcast.
Oh, yes. Strap in. Hope you got some snacks, because we're going to read all these books today. No. I started reading them because I'm going to actually do some sort of review or some sort of video about these books. I'm very interested in, we talk a lot about the Magic story. So
we're going to talk about it on this podcast.
Yeah. It already came out? Or it's coming out? Okay, it's coming out. Spoiler alert. there's something cool coming. Anyway, so I was reading this novel. I'm on chapter 4 right now. I'm a very slow reader. And there is several instances that the characters eat, right? And if you are a George R.R. Martin fan, if you do fantasy stuff, Harry Potter, like there's always, I mean, it's such a way to connect to the reader, right? These things that other entities are doing, and they do eat quite often so far. 3 chapters, there's been at least 6 eating scenes so far. But the one that bothered me the most, the main character and his like guide through the world, through this setting, they go to a market and they're getting information from a food vendor, and the food vendor tosses them pomegranates. They have these pomegranates, and I'm very closely paying attention to where these pomegranates are. And I'm actually counting the amount of pomegranates that have been thrown and then how many have been consumed. But what really bothered me was the method in which they were being consumed. And that is to say, One Eye, the main character, whatever his actual name is, I can't even remember. Garth.
Oh my god, come on.
Garth One Eye.
No wonder you're going by One Eye. Your name's Garth.
Yes,
come on.
Garth. Actually, funny story, tangent to the story. I was like, needed a name for a role-playing game, and so I just picked up this book to flip through to grab a name, and the first name I saw was Chad. I'm like, why is there a Chad in this fucking world?
I mean, it's an old book, but yeah.
1990s. Okay, sure, fine, whatever. Gotta make it relatable to your like main demographic that you think you have back then.
I'm just saying, like, if you opened up a fantasy book today and you saw a Peter, you'd be like, okay, his name's Peter.
But Chad. Anyway, doesn't matter.
The person who wrote this book, they didn't know in the 2010s, late 2010s, that Chad would be a meme. You know what I mean?
Sure. Okay, fine. You get a free pass, William R. Forstchen. But anyway, you don't get a pass on this because you made Garth bite into a pomegranate, you monster.
Like an apple.
Yes, like an apple. What the fuck? You don't eat a pomegranate like that. And then it made me start thinking about, well, maybe this isn't really a pomegranate. Maybe this is just a pomegranate that, like, they're just calling it a pomegranate. What is food like in the multiverse? Who knows, right? Well, because, like, if you think about Eldraine, one of the food tokens has a banana on it that's like a curly-whirly French fry. Fantasy bananas, curl, whatever. So anyway, it made me start thinking about food.
Maybe in the multiverse, there's a pomegranate where it's just one big pomegranate seed.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Could you imagine biting to it? It would be a fucking mess. I would hate it.
A juice explosion.
I couldn't eat it, but I like the idea of it.
I'd have to wear a poncho to eat that.
Yes, you would. So maybe planeswalkers wear ponchos. Maybe there's a reason capes exist. There's big napkins. So
maybe when you planeswalk, you leave the juice behind. You're imagining something else right now.
No, I'm imagining juice. Anyway, so
Continue.
Cool. So this got me thinking about food in Magic the Gathering, like the actual cards, right? Like, I haven't played a lot of sets since Lorwyn, right? And the big one is, of course, Eldraine. And Eldraine was when food, the word tagged, was actually used, like food tokens, and they are artifacts. They're artifacts that you can use. They're never a creature type, even though I've seen creatures that technically could be food. Yes? Ginger Brute is tagged as food. But he's an artifact creature. He's an artifact.
Who is a food.
Who is a food, you're right. But anyway, so it's never truly a creature type. But I like went on a journey, and it's very difficult because I went on Scryfall, I went to the other places that you can look up to find food stuff, and of course the only things you're gonna get is like Eldraine stuff now, because I wanted to see other depictions of food in the multiverse, because like what do other beings eat for food, and unfortunately it was not fruitful. Wink walk, wink walk, walk wink.
Pun.
See what I'm doing here? Anyway.
Oh my god.
So
Yes.
I did look up, and I was trying to gather like information, which meant that eventually led me to Reddit. Because somebody asked basically the same question I was asking. They were trying to build a food-themed commander deck, which is very interesting. I think that's a fun concept. But there are cards out there that do have the word food or feed or deal with consuming. Like there's Time to Feed, Urge to Feed, Master of the Feast, Bountiful Harvest, Goblin Festival. These are all meh in my opinion, because really there's no flavor text or or it's like showing wolves eating a deer. I'm more interested in what like sentient creatures are eating.
Beings.
Right.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of cannibalism cards.
Yes.
I mean, zombies, it makes sense. That's not really cannibalism, because once you become a zombie, you're no longer like...
Innistrad has some cannibalism explicitly.
Yeah. Let me see if there was... like, there's Appetite for Brains. And, like, I kept it as a card because just as with a peach, which means peaches exist somewhere in the multiverse, the first bite is always the juiciest.
Come on.
There's taste... Nope. Oh, Devour Flesh, which is... like it depicts, like, I can't remember what set it was, but it depicts basically a man sitting out on like a cobbled street and he's eating something off of a bone, and it's like his twisted mind concluded that if he was what he ate and he wanted to stay human, so he's eating obviously a human. So cannibalism definitely exists, like you said, Innistrad.
Yeah, just to add on to that, there is the Innistrad card, Village Cannibals, 2 and a black for a creature human. Whenever another human creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Village Cannibals. And it has some of the creepiest art in all of Innistrad. It's from the perspective of someone laying in their bed, and they have just a host of other people around their bed just looking at them.
Ugh, creepy. There's also Wine of Blood and Iron, which depicts this like man drinking a bowl full of like really dark red liquid, which Godo never revealed what went into his special brew, but he always had more of it after great victories. And I was like,
Wink,
dang.
wink, blood.
So, okay, so we know you got twisty bananas, we know you got peaches, and we know you got pomegranates, at least of the novel series, and also other meats, yes?
Let me also add to this category Tassiger the Golden Fang, who I think I've told you about. This is from Fate Reforged, and he's famous in his original art. He has like a heap of fruit next to him, bananas and grapes and some other fruits next to him. So we know that the fruits of Earth are there on other worlds.
So therefore, we've got cannibals and fruit so far, and wine made of blood, which is cannibalistic in nature.
Nate.
So cool, Magic. You got that covered. I'm happy for you. Your priorities in depicting food before pies, which also the pies in fucking Eldraine could ever filled with people possibly.
Definitely.
Yes. But yeah. So there's that. What else? So we got that covered. But I was very interested. I was also specifically looking for cards that depicted food of the raw and off the vine variety, but also anything cooked. I cannot find, like, I would take so long to like hunt through all the art. And I was also looking through flavor text. And so I was trying to like figure out like what counts to me as food. And so a lot of it was if it talked in the flavor text about eating something or consuming it, or if the card itself was like I don't know. It doesn't matter. This is all madness anyway. This whole subject, I just was having fun looking at it.
Sure.
There's some really fun unset cards that revolve around eating. There's one called Fat Ass. Fat Ass gets +2/+2. It has trample as long as you're eating. So if I'm a planeswalker at the table playing, then all of my food, whatever, it doesn't matter. So there's still the eating. There's actually using eating as a mechanic in this plane to play your game. And I love the flavor text for it. Our lore says, no matter how funny it would be, we can't encourage players to eat their cards. Hear that? Whatever you do, don't eat the delicious cards.
Wink.
Wink. Eat them. Eat your cards. It's fine. Eat a food token. No problem. Some other ones are like Fruitcake Elemental, which cracked me up. So I don't care if it's an unset or whatever. If it's a Fruitcake Elemental, that means there are beings out there. And we got it Ginger Brute, right? Food. So there's creatures that are food, which means, is that cannibalism? If another Fruitcake Elemental ate a Fruitcake Elemental? Probably.
I think yes.
I'm just going to read off the cards that I have now that I just pulled from Scryfall. Again,
Okay.
We're at 17 minutes now. I don't think I can talk much longer. This is going to be a short episode. There's Feed the Clan. You gain 5 life. The Temer believe 3 things only are needed in life: a hot fire, a full belly, and a strong companion. What is in that belly? What do the Temer eat? No one is telling me this. Let's see. Foot Bottom Feast. The scent of rot and vinegar fills the marsh, inviting boggarts from every warren to reunite and feast. What are they feasting on? Come on, Magic the Gathering. Where's your wiki? Where is your multiverse plane, like, food of the plane, right? Indiana is fucking sugar pie or whatever it is. I don't know. We have a fucking pie made of sugar. Where's your food for... Obviously, Innistrad's human. But where's your food for another plane that I obviously know all of their names because I'm a smart magic person and can rattle them off? You pick it, listener.
Choose your own adventure.
I don't know why I'm talking like conspiracy theorist right now. I think it's the standing desk.
Coincidence?
I think not.
Yeah, that wall next to you, that needs to be a cork board with pins and yarn.
Oh, yes, yeah. Just over here,
News
all
clippings.
the food. Banana, question mark?
Curly banana?
What made it curl? There's Feast of the Unicorn, which showed a picture of a unicorn's head on a platter, which is fucked up. So what's worse, eating a human or eating a unicorn?
Definitely
Could there be a
unicorn.
fouler act? No doubt the Baron knows of one. Autumn Willow. Who are you, Autumn? I don't know who that is. That's what the flavor text is. Okay, here's
That's gonna be some Baron Sanger shit.
I have no idea. You could click a link. You got access to this. So there's also, how do you say this? Protean Hulk?
Protean Hulk.
Protean
Yep.
Hulk. I liked the flavor text that just said, meat and eggs, we eat. And
Borborygmos.
whoever the hell that is, I know. Do you? I don't fucking know.
That's the OG clan leader of the Gruul.
Got
he
it.
was a Cyclops, I think.
Yeah, Cyclops. Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah. That guy.
He was awesome. His flavor text is so good.
There's Taste of Paradise. Any who drink of Freya-Lisa's bounty drink the meat of rebirth. God, I wish I could say names of people. Kaisa, Elder Druid of the Juniper Order. They're drinking something from something. It's wine. It's mead.
It's just an ASMR.
Is it?
Anti-ASMR.
I like this next one. We've established that there's meat and there's blood wine. Eladrimers. I can't say this person's name. Ella. How do you say this?
I don't know this one.
Eladrimus Vineyard. I believe that's how you say it. Eladrimus Vineyard. At the beginning of each player's pre-combat phase, that player adds 2 green mana. But the mushroom wine made God, I cannot talk.
Gerard.
This is why William Forster put Chad and Garth in his books, because no one can
pronounce it.
I can't say these names. The mushroom wine made Gerard's head spin, and his stomach soon followed suit. We got mushrooms, and they make it into wine somewhere. The rest of these are all... Oh yeah, brindle boar. You can eat a boar. Tell the cooks to prepare the fires. Tonight we feast. Toller.
That's the one you sacrifice it and you gain life, right?
4 life, yep.
Yep.
So, I made a list. I talked about it. I'm done. Food and Magic the Gathering.
Okay. I have 2 follow-up thoughts for us to talk about. Number 1, I'm reminded of a great quote from The Departed, the Scorsese version.
You know what I like about restaurants?
The fucking food? I don't know what.
You learn a lot watching things eat.
I think one of the underlying themes that you're kind of getting at here is you can learn a lot about a plane or a character or a world by the food that's there.
Yes. Yeah. You're right. Food. I've had 4 hours of sleep. Can you tell?
I think it's true though. I think, there are a few experiences that are universal to human beings. Eating is one of them. And I think that in any world, I just did, my search I did on Scryfall was hunger, and it pulls up a ton of cards. Lots of cards talk about hunger. Which brings me to my next thing that I wanted to discuss, which is one of your favorite topics, the Eldrazi.
Yes.
Tons of cards that I looked up when I searched for hunger include the Eldrazi, because as we know, their essence, their state of being is one of perpetual hunger.
Ceaseless.
Yes. Now, my question to you, imagine we're going to a future set that has the Eldrazi in them. Food is going to be involved. How would you want to see that implemented?
As far as what?
As far as anything.
Oh, well, if that really helps narrow it down, Kenny, let me try. I think it's really... there was a card in my list that I didn't bring up because I was specifically looking at cards that talked about eating, feeding. And there's one card that is related, but it didn't actually talk about consuming anything. It is fasting. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a hunger counter on fasting, then destroy fasting if it has 5 or more hunger counters on it. If you would begin your draw step, you may skip that step instead. If you do, gain 2 life. When you draw a card, destroy fasting. I think that card was really interesting to me because it's one of those, like, I have never, like, poison counters, but hunger counter was something I hadn't experienced before. I think that would be a way to do it with your Eldrazi. Like, you would be putting hunger, if they start accruing hunger counters and they don't consume or destroy something, then they end up imploding on themselves, would be an interesting mechanic, I think. So that's one thing. What are your thoughts on that, Kenny?
I see. We've talked about the Eldrazi many a time. And as we know, one of the things I like about cosmic horror is not really understanding what they want.
Yep.
And I've said in a previous episode, I like the idea that the reason that the essence of the Eldrazi is ceaseless hunger that's because we, mortal creatures don't really understand the Eldrazi. We don't know what they really want. We don't.
Hunger
we think
is just a term that we can understand.
Right. So what are they really doing? And so I would want to see. I want some Eldrazi card that creates like food tokens, let's say, and then after you've sacrificed or after you've accrued so many food tokens, you win the game. I want an alternate win condition with some food.
See, I don't like that because the Eldrazi don't eat true food. I mean, we're food to. How they, like you said, edit this. I don't particularly like the idea of putting food tokens with the Eldrazi because they are.
It's not really food.
It's not really food, and we just said, hunger isn't really like hunger like we experience. Perhaps it's just a term that we use to express that. So I like the idea of hunger counters representing something different, but I don't think you would want to counteract that with food tokens. I think keeping food tokens takes away from the metaphysicalness of Eldrazi a little bit. It's too grounded. I just want a set that's goblins and corn dogs. That's what I would do with food tokens.
You just want Goblin Grub.
Yeah, that's a game that I made. It's on itch.io. Look it up. Blink.
But you want goblins to be selling food from a truck.
Yes. And then you're just trying to accrue dollar tokens, treasure tokens. And the one who has the most treasure tokens wins.
Yeah. I think, again, this is calling back to previous episodes. I think it would be cool, coming back to Eldrazi, if they were doing something like planeswalkers. Like they ate planeswalkers.
Yes.
Not because they're actually eating them,
yes,
but because they're singularities. They draw whatever the spark is to themselves.
I think in an Eldrazi hunger-focused set, if we were going to do it, it would have proliferate. There would be some sort of hunger token, and I'm not sure what the third gimmick would be. Not gimmick, but third thing that you would want to see in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It wouldn't be more.
I think it would be something. If I were going to make that set, I might have a returning mechanic evolve from one of the return to Ravnikas, just because I think the Eldrazi should have some mechanic that represents ascending and becoming more than what you are currently, like lifting yourself up to loftier planes of being and thought.
Sure. Oh.
Done.
But food tokens and hunger tokens with goblins who are cowboys. It's a very specific themed set, but I guarantee you I'm not the only one who would be excited about it, drooling over it.
Over some food.
That's it. That's all I got. The end. Maybe one day I'll make a food-themed some commander deck, but right now I don't have time for anything. I really should be sleeping.
I mean, we're still waiting for your Eldrazi commander deck. That's a construction zone, just waiting to happen.
So many things, so little time.
Well, for another episode then.
This episode is going to be 20 minutes long after you edit it.
Nah, I'm not going to edit it.
You're not going to edit it? You're not going to edit it? I got sick halfway through. You're going to keep all that in, I bet. Because
probably.
You're mean to me.
Excuse me?
It's just you got me in a rare, my brain stopped.
Oh boy.
You got me in a rare mood. I'm
truly
very tired.
All right. Well, let's wrap up. It's your episode.
It's my episode. if I wanted to be 15 minutes, edit this down to 15 minutes, Kenny. That's all it should be. No, I keep it longer. Keep the good stuff in, if there is any. I don't know if there's any. This is me wrapping up a show, by the way. I don't know how to end things. I don't know how to start things. I don't know how to carry a show in the middle either. But here you go. Here you go. I just stumbled over that. Happy birthday, listeners. Last episode was my birthday when I did my show. This is a gift to you. Good luck. You can give it to Goodwill if you want. You can send it back. I accidentally ordered three hot pot pots by accident. That's the state of my brain these days.
Holy moly.
I thought I ordered one hot pot. Instead, I've got 3. You can't see. I'm pointing to them, listener. You can't see them. But they are sitting back there. Or Kenny can't even see either because it's in the dark and the shadows. And he's going, oh my god, just end this episode, Amber. Bye. Bye. This has been Red Mage, Blue Mage. This is what happens when I take over the show. Aren't you glad that Kenny is the main host of this show and the producer and showrunner? You can find me on Twitter at Rocket Worker, where I recently posted a picture of me standing next to a tiny truck. I'm only 5'4". The truck is smaller than I am. Check it out. Kenny, where can they find you?
You can find me at Wolfmere on Twitter. You can find me on Geekspective as well. Back to you, Amber.
I'm dying. Thanks for sticking around. See you next time. Bye.
Goodbye.